It has been a great while since I have heard only silence, and I enjoy it greatly, I think. For some reason I do not feel altogether welcome in this new world in which I have arrived, but how could I be unwelcome in an age that has no inhabitants? It is, of course, only in my head. This world is very beautiful, but I think I have ever yet to write in a journal in an age that I have linked to that was horrid or disgusting. From the grassy hill where I am standing, I can see green fields below, along with a few scattered forests. A large lake looms over some distance where I am standing, yet the water is blue and can be plainly seen from here. The air is fresh, and the sky is sparkled with white clouds. It is absolutely breathtaking, and yet that strange feeling again. Perhaps it is the hot breeze that continues to blow from the north, harder than I would have imagined. It almost stings my skin, and I feel quite uncomfortable when it comes, though I will try to ignore it. Night has almost arrived, and the sunset is spectacular. Oranges and reds have settled over the western horizon. Though night has come, the horizon still glows bright red past the sunset. Dark reds flow from the horizon and blend into the black sky. Again that feeling, and I am beginning to believe that it is not all in my mind. I must sleep now. I will need my strength to explore more tomorrow. I had to return home due to an unpredictable natural occurrence, more frightening than I have ever experienced. I was awakened by terrible shakings in the ground and explosions on all sides of me. Gigantic balls of fire were raining from the sky, and I immediately left in fear of my life. I must remember to bring a mislinking book with me when I return, in case that one that I left has been destroyed or damaged. I have returned to a different world than the one I left only 3 days ago. It has been transformed into a barren desert land, with only a few gigantic craters scattered across the land to provide variety. Strangely enough, the small grassy hill where I spent most of my night seems to remain exactly the way I found it. Apparently, the falling meteors did not hit that area, leaving an oasis in the middle of this horrible desolation. The hot wind, I remember, has turned into a pleasant breeze, which is at least one improvement. I fear it is the only improvement. The magnificent lake I saw when on my first visit is now completely dried up. However, another lake now exists and appears to be quite larger. I assume one of the falling meteors must have created this lake due to its circular shape and the jutting rock that grows at the center of this lake. The rest of the world seems like deserts, although I will verify that statement with closer inspection. Though this world has little visual excitement to offer, it offers so much more to the ears. Sounds constantly throw through my ears, and I have found where a few of them originate. It seems, as Catherine says, I do find beauty in everything. Last night I was awakened by a horrible hissing. I was sweating and the heat was so intense that I immediately dipped my head in a nearby stream to cool it down. The hot breezes have returned, along with a low roar from the ground. I walked a short distance to observe some red flames shooting up from the earth. Suddenly, the ground began to crack and a huge chasm opened. The chasm continued to grow until it was far too wide to cross. Then the tumult subsided, leaving only a dull roar. I have decided, however, that I can use the chasm to my advantage. Perhaps the heat from the chasm can be harnessed. Even as the chasm is ripped into its surface of this world, it has been opened a whole new world for me to explore. Though uncomfortably hot, I have found it possible to reach the cave through the chasm that has already been created, and I have now explored deep into the crust of this planet. I have found a vast underground cave system that will take many years to map and explore. I will also look for a safer way to reach the underground than through the chasm wall. This age seems to change on its own, so I feel I should leave again and see if things are different when I return. It is also important that I check on Sirrus and Achenar and make sure everything is going well. When I return, I hope to bring some tools I will need for my plans to explore the underground. The abundance of raw materials here is beginning to amaze me. I have returned with some of the complex tools I knew I would be needing. I have assumed that I would have to return for more basic materials, however it seems as though I'll be able to find everything I need here. Of course, only iron is abundant, but I have found titanium occurring naturally. I am all the more excited to begin work. Everything is set, and I look forward to tomorrow. My raw materials are all here. I think I will be able to have most of my additions to this age completed within 1 year. I still love working with my hands, whether writing or building. I have begun today on the bridge and, well, I seem to have decided 3 meters is not enough to support for the beams, although it is amazingly strong. to be one of my most prized inventions. I am extremely... would never have imagined it would have come together. I doubt... could possibly work the 14 instead of 8. Completely fatigued. I am so happy to have completed. Tomorrow. I am leaving today in order to bring back Sirrus and Achenar. I have left them all alone in Channelwood. I believe they will enjoy all there is to see here. The age seems to have stabilized. I believe the meteor has set off a periodic amount of volcanic activity by piercing into the shallow crust, but the tremors have become few. I have just noticed that a large amount of this journal has curiously vanished from the very pages on which I wrote over the last 18 months. Fortunately, I have copied many of my construction notes in another journal. I do not understand many of the mysteries of this world, but I will trust that I will discover logical answers to my questions. I have a feeling that many of my questions can be answered in another age, to which I hope to travel soon. But for now, I must simply accept this world's mysteries and take pride in my accomplishments.